A truth no one tells you. Imagine walking into a room. You say nothing, you do nothing flashy, but eyes turn toward you, especially the ones you once thought were out of reach. You're not famous. You're not wearing luxury brands or driving a luxury car. You simply radiate something. Undeniable. This is not ordinary charm. This is deep, grounded presence, what Stoic philosophy calls the still power of a man who knows himself. 95.7% of women are drawn to men like this. Not because they chase them, but because they don't need to chase anyone. If you're tired of trying to appear attractive, of chasing validation, of trying to impress, this video is a wake-up call. Because true attractiveness isn't something you do, it's something you become. 1. Emotional control, unshakable presence. Women don't test you because they dislike you. They test you to feel whether or not you are stable. Because at a deep instinctual level, women are not seeking the most handsome man, the richest, or the most charming. They are drawn to the one who makes them feel safe emotionally, not with wealth, but with inner stability. You might be able to make her laugh, impress her with your words. But if you're easily angered, overly reactive, or driven by emotional impulses, all of that attraction will fade. A woman may admire you, but if she can't feel calm around you, she will gradually pull away in silence. Think back to the last time you were provoked, teased, or rejected. How did you respond? Did you get angry? Did you send a long emotional message? Or did you stay silent, take a deep breath, and remain centered? That was the test. And in that moment, you revealed your true strength, not in reaction, but in control. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The Stoic man does not try to control others. He doesn't need to win arguments. He doesn't beg for love. Instead, he masters himself. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't rush to respond. He doesn't let ego drag him into conflict. He breathes and stays quiet. He observes and chooses when and how to respond. And that stillness is what makes people respect him. Reactivity is instinct. Restraint is power. The weak react with emotion. The strong respond from principle and clarity. Real attraction isn't found in clever comebacks. It's found in the calm presence of a man who can stay centered in chaos. Picture this. A woman tests you with sarcasm, distance, or mixed signals. Most men will try to prove themselves, lash out, or shut down. But you, a man who's trained his inner self, remains still. You're not weak for staying calm. You're powerful for choosing not to react. And that makes you different. Every time you stay composed in the storm, you don't just protect your dignity. You build a magnetic presence, something that cannot be faked. Women may not say it aloud, but they feel it deeply. They are drawn to the man who is unshakably calm, the one who cannot be moved by external drama. Because in a world full of emotional chaos, a calm man is the deepest form of safety. Practicing Stoicism daily starts with one simple act. When you want to react, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this really worth losing my peace over? If the answer is no, smile, say nothing, and move forward. That's not weakness. That's a deliberate decision. 2. Purpose over pleasure equals irresistible drive. There's a type of man who women find nice, but not magnetic. He's always available, always texts first, always willing to change his plans for a date. Sounds sweet, right? But deep down, something feels off. Women won't always say it, but they feel it clearly. This man has nothing more important than me. and that turns them off, not because they're ungrateful, but because, deep down, they're wired to seek a man who's driven by something greater than love. When a man lacks purpose, lacks passion, lacks a direction for his life, he becomes a drifter, and women sense that faster than you think. On the other hand, a man who lives for something bigger than himself has a very different kind of gravity. He's not fake busy. He's not playing hard to get. He's simply moving along a clear path of his own. And in the eyes of a woman, that man carries weight. Maybe you're building a business, training your body every morning, reading, learning, and expanding your skills, pursuing a meaningful mission or long-term goal. Whatever it is, it makes you different. You don't need someone to feel worthy. You don't need love to give you direction. You already have a path, and you're walking it. And that process, that journey, makes you attractive on a much deeper level. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Most men take years to realize they've spent too much time chasing quick feelings and not enough time building lasting meaning. Your career, your health, your mind, your discipline, your spirit, these are the foundations of real presence. And women, at their core, are deeply drawn to a man who's rooted in something solid. The Stoic man doesn't pursue love to fill a void. He builds a life with structure and depth. And if love arrives, she's welcomed into a world that's already full. If not, he keeps going, centered, content, not bitter, not needy, just grounded. And ironically, that's what makes women want to be part of it. They don't want to be your whole world. They want to be part of a world that already has a soul and a direction. When you respond to her message hours later, not because you're playing games, but because you were training, working, studying, it doesn't make you less interested. It makes you more valuable. Remember this: an attractive man is not a man who's free to love any time. He's the man who lives with mission first and lets love walk alongside it. You don't need to be a millionaire. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to have a clear goal and move toward it every day. 3. The power of indifference equals why they want to stay. There's a paradox in attraction that few dare to admit. The more you try to hold on, the more they pull away. The more you remain indifferent, the more they want to stay. It's not about pretending. It's not about playing games. It's because real indifference, born from inner strength, has a magnetic power. Most men lose their charm the moment they try too hard, trying to impress, trying to please. Texting every day out of fear of being forgotten, constantly proving they're worthy of love. But the truth is, the more you need, the more you lose. The more whole you are, the more you attract. The Stoic man operates differently. He doesn't chase. He doesn't beg. He doesn't manipulate. He lives by one clear principle: what's beyond my control is beneath my concern. And from that place, he finds true inner freedom. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life, and it is attained by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." A man who is indifferent to outcomes is a man a woman cannot control. And paradoxically, that's the kind of man she wants to be with, not because he's heartless, but because he is self-contained. You don't need to act cold, you simply need to be whole within yourself. You don't need to force distance, you just stop clinging when someone begins to pull away. Remember, texting first is not weakness, showing care is not neediness. But the man who is not afraid to lose is the one no one wants to lose. Indifference, in this sense, is not emotional detachment. It is wise acceptance. You no longer attach your worth to whether someone likes you or not. Your mood is not dictated by who texts or doesn't text. You're living your life, creating value, becoming better every day. And if someone chooses to walk beside you, you welcome them. If not, you move forward, without bitterness. The Stoic man understands when you don't beg for attention, you become rare. When you're calm in the face of leaving, you become powerful. When your sense of self is not tied to external validation, you become more attractive than any surface charm. And when a woman feels that, she begins to wonder, why doesn't he need me? What does he have that makes him so secure? And that curiosity is the seed of respect, desire, and deeper attraction. You don't need to fake indifference, you just need to truly be at peace from within. You don't need to ignore her so she chases. You simply no longer allow her to be the center of your emotional stability. If there's one practice to carry with you daily, it is this: remain indifferent to what you cannot control. Because once you master that, you don't just attract love, you attract freedom. Attraction isn't a tactic, it's a state of being. You can learn texting tricks, you can upgrade your style. You can watch endless how to attract her content. But eventually, you'll realize true, lasting attraction doesn't come from tactics. It comes from transformation. When you master your emotions, when you live for a purpose bigger than yourself, when you detach from outcomes and stay grounded, you become a magnet. Because the most attractive man is the one who doesn't need to attract anyone. Gentle call to action. If you're on a path to building inner power, if you want to become the man who cannot be shaken, then subscribe to Stoic Mindset and Money for weekly reminders of what truly matters. Comment below, which trait do you need to work on the most: emotional control, purpose, or indifference? You're not alone on this journey. And every step you take today shapes the presence you carry forever.